Coming up today on Two Ginger Gems, it's our Oscar special. We talk about
winners and losers,
best dressed, best speech,
our favourite gingers,
and everything in between.
From Hollywood, California, it's Two Ginger Gems Oscar special with Kate and James.
Hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
Did you watch the Oscars last night?
Of course.
For our Oscar special.
For our Oscar special.
Well, let's get right in with it then, babe. Let's start off with Conan. What did you think? Marks out of 10. Would you give him 1 or 10?
I wouldn't give him 1. 7.
7?
Yeah.
I would actually, looking back over the years of the different presenters, I'm going to go higher. I'm going to say 8.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm there with you.
I don't know. I felt that he was very natural. Nothing was pushed or forced. And I particularly loved it when the camera went away from the people. I can't remember who it was, babe, who it was getting the award, but they cut their mic and then the camera went back to Conan and he just stood there and he knew the camera was on him and he just started laughing because he was like, no way, we're right at the beginning of the show almost and you're not going to cut those people off. So it went wide and then went back to them and then let them speak.
Did you see that though? More. Then they cut back. I mean, I bet they wish they hadn't because they went back and he thought he might say like, "Oh, thank his mother" or something, and he went on for like 10 minutes.
That's
and they're like, "Oh no, we shouldn't have done that.
It.
We shouldn't." But then he said that, didn't he? Conan said that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, come on, and he said something about turning the mic, cutting the guy mic off when the guy's about to speak. I mean, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked it.
So I love that. I love the
thought
naturalness of him. You feel very in control.
I think he was more relaxed than last time he did it.
I don't remember him last time.
Yeah, well, exactly. I thought he was more relaxed. I think he felt more. But I like Kimmel when he hosts, and I mean,
yes,
I just maybe because I'm of a certain age. The old Billy Crystal years and the Whoopi years, and there was some really good hosts of the Oscars, and then for a while there was kind of like not, and then there was the years there wasn't even a host, and it just seemed like, not. So it was nice to have a host back, but I just don't know that it was. Conan's funny. It's not my favourite, but I thought he was. I thought he was good, but I'll give him a 7.
I like his frenetic energy.
I give him 8.
He's got that craziness somewhere ticking in there.
I like the fact that he can be quite self-deprecating. I think that's important with any comedian. If you can laugh at yourself, then we can laugh along with you sooner than
100%.
be too up themselves. But I thought he was pretty good. And fellow ginger.
Fellow ginger, so we have to all give him
You can't knock that.
No, thumbs up always. Fellow ginger, we're going to support 100%.
Exactly. Yeah, nice to see a ginger in the top job.
So what did you think of the opening with him dressed as Aunt Gladys from Weapons,
I thought it was. I thought it was comical. I thought it was well done. Having not seen any of the movies, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I knew what was happening. I knew it was a parody, but I didn't really relate to it because I haven't seen. I'm kind of. It's a bad year for me. I hadn't seen any of them. I hadn't seen any of the movies. Was
there anything when you saw especially that because he went through the top films that were up for the awards? Was there any one where you went, oh, actually, I think I might actually see that one?
One battle after another. I'd like to see that.
Okay.
I think that's one I've always figured I would go and see at some point. I just haven't done.
Yeah.
But
Paul Thomas Anderson.
I can't like to see Frankenstein. Frankenstein won production design.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in seeing that. So that was kind of.
We saw Frankenstein with a Q&A. And the director was saying nothing on the set was AI, like nothing. Everything was built.
Right.
And he hates
painstaking,
AI. And at the end of the whole Q&A thing, he stood up and he got all the audience to stand up and he took his phone out, didn't he? And he all shouted, "You're not going to like this, it's a swear word. Go fuck yourself, AI!" And the whole audience, and he went and posted it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he is like...
What do we think about the new set?
What
the set for the Oscars?
Yeah.
I think that it was different. I think that the Oscar set over the years there's been some very strong ones, there's been some not so strong ones. I think the Oscars always looks better when you really push the Oscars Hollywood glamour, the kind of like the deco and the gold and things. And this was very much removed from that, and it seemed very kind of like almost like Japanese inspired. There was the kind of tree, the blossom trees and the kind of gates and the so the kind of mountainscapes and things like that. It just seemed very different. And I don't know, to me, I think if you looked at it, I don't know that, other than the fact that it said Oscars at the top of it, if you looked at it, I don't know that you'd look at it and think that was the Oscars. It didn't feel like, sometimes you can look at it and you're like, it could only be the Oscars. Last night was different. And I'm not saying I didn't like it.
But it was definitely a different direction.
It was a different direction, and it's different to what I feel the Oscars should be.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was a conscious decision not to have any curves on it. If you looked at it, every single look they had was straight lines. There was not a single curve on the set. What I thought was strange was behind Conan's close-up at the very beginning for his opening monologue, he was stood in front of those gates, and behind him was the musical director, and the musical director was kind of moving around doing stuff. So right behind Conan's head, which is just like the worst, right behind his head was a guy in a white jacket moving around. And it seems like, you know, whenever you're doing a set design, you've got your wide shots very key, but also it's background to your close-ups.
Your mid-shot.
So you've got your close-up of the host dead centre, and then the left and right positions. And to have, in the opening, the first time we see the set, there's a guy behind, you know, unpacking his sandwiches or whatever in the band, and he's right behind the host. That, you know, it's kind of, I thought that was I don't know if it was a mistake. I don't know if he was not supposed to be there at that point, but he was, and it showed, and you saw it, and I found that a little
fair point.
Distracting.
Yeah, that's a good point, babe. And then he went into his monologue, and we'll mention the fact that he did call Timmy out from last week from our
That
It's
was-
a Shame should do better.
Exactly.
Little shitty Chalamet. So yeah,
That came up more than once,
called
didn't
out.
it? That came up more than once.
Do you know what I loved the most? Which I loved the most, and I thought it was so clever of the Oscars to do, is when they did the original song for Sinners, which was amazing. They had Buddy Guy there. Buddy Guy, me and Mickey went and saw him at the Hollywood Bowl.
Chi-Town what?
Chi-Town what? We went and saw him at the Bowl. He's 89 years old, guitarist, like one of the best. And he was in the film, and he was also on stage. And who was that player, the guitarist that plays?
Oh, wasn't his name Kingfisher?
Kingfisher. Oh, unbelievable. Anyway, at the very end of it, in comes Misty Copeland, you know, the ballet dancer. She was the first African-American principal dancer for American Ballet Theatre. And she comes in and does a bit. And not only does she look, I mean, she looked like a bird of paradise or something. She looks so amazing, and she just does this ballet dance right there. It looks so good. And then everybody gave a standing ovation because everybody knew exactly why they put her there. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And he got up and did applaud and did stand up for it. Little shitty Chalamet.
Do you not feel like it's a lot of fuss about no? I mean, it's his opinion. He could have said that just as a...
Babe. No, babe. No.
But maybe he doesn't... Okay.
No, he didn't say, I don't like. If he said, I don't like ballet and opera, I never go to ballet and opera. He said, nobody cares about ballet and opera.
I think it's a lot of fuss
big
about
difference.
nothing.
No, it's not a lot of fuss about nothing. Especially where we are in the world now, where the first thing you lose is art.
His mother, his grandmother, and his sister all
are all
studied
ballet
at the
dancers.
School of American Ballet.
Well, maybe it was...
It's like...
Maybe
it's
it was
like,
deliberate.
Yeah. But it's not just that, it's the arts. The arts will be the first thing you lose.
Yeah.
When you start becoming a country that has a dictator who's running the country, the first thing they'll cut is arts. They already has cut all the arts grants. So for someone else to stand up and then make this about the arts, and you know he's one step away from saying theatre. If you say opera and ballet, you're going to say theatre next. So it's his own craft. It's his own craft, you know. And I think it is important that it is.
But he didn't
called
say
out.
theatre, so you can't say he was
No, I
going
didn't
to,
say
so
he said theatre. I said that's just the next step, babe. But right now we've already got ballet and opera, and then the next step will be theatre. Then it will be painters. Then it will be da-da-da-da-da. Because they cut art. That's where they like to cut first. Because art has people have expression, and when you have an expression, you have a mind and you have a thought, and you create things. And when you get rid of that,
It's harder to control people that use their imagination.
Yes, exactly.
And be creative.
Yeah. So when you try and cut that, you end up with just robots everywhere, which is what they want. So anyway, let's move on.
And speaking of standing up to power, Amy Madigan finally won something.
Oh yes, that was amazing. She's 75 years old, Amy. Yeah. And that's the first time she was nominated or anything like that.
I have a little Amy Madigan story.
Yes.
It's a very silly little one. 10 years ago, I was nominated for an Emmy, and I went to the Emmys and didn't win. And as you know, you come out of the Emmys when the ceremony's over, and you cross the street to the Governor's Ball over at the Convention Centre, and there's a crowd of us all walking across, and I'm going along, and someone grabs my shoulder, and I turn around, and it's Ed Harris and Amy Madigan.
Love Ed Harris.
And Ed Harris said, "Congratulations." And I was like, "What?" And I was nominated, but I didn't win. And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Congratulations." And Amy's going, "It's not him. It's not him.
Oh, did
it's
they
not him."
think it was?
He thought I was Damian Lewis, who had just won.
Oh, no. All gingers look alike.
Love
He
it.
just won for Homeland, and he just won in the ceremony. And he kept talking to me, and I didn't know what to say because I didn't click what was happening at first because I was thinking, hey, he doesn't know me, and he doesn't know, and I didn't win. Then, and all I can see is Amy going, it's not him, it's not him, it's not him. And then I realised. So it was kind of awkward. And then they walked away, and I walked away, and I was kind of embarrassed for him because he was clearly like felt silly. Didn't even, he just kind of walked away. Didn't even say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was somebody else."
He just quickly went away.
That night, everywhere I went, Ed Harris. I go to the bar, Ed Harris is there. I go to the sushi thing to get Ed Harris is there. It seemed like, and it was every time was that awkward kind of like, "Oh, it's you again. Oh, you again," and so that's my. It's not him, Amy Madigan story.
Is that why they
thought
think
I was Damien Lewis.
that's because they think all gingers look alike?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
We do.
How many times do you get when if there's a woman and she's got red hair, they go, "Oh, she looks like you." Do you
What?
get? I get that all.
Never. Other than
Do you not?
Damien
I
Lewis.
get that all the time, babe. I get that all the time. Don't matter what she looks like. If you've got red hair, oh yeah, you look like. Then you like. Well, no, I don't. But she's got red hair.
Bonnie Langford.
She's got red hair.
I never get that.
You don't?
No,
Oh, I do.
I used to
all
get
the
Boris
time.
Becker when I was younger.
Yes, I can see that.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
Boris Becker for sure. Yeah, especially when you were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hang on, let's just go back to Ed Harris for 2 seconds. Where has he been?
Another ginger,
Where's
wasn't he?
been?
Ginger?
Is he ginger?
I think he was a little bit.
I think he
ginger.
was born without hair.
Yeah, I'm always thinking of him as
Ginger.
bald. But he looks so good. I haven't seen him for so long. I don't know what he's doing, I don't know what he's up to. He's been in films, I don't know what he's doing. But he looks great, so...
Last time I saw him, he was
amazing.
stalking me at the Emmys, but that was a while back.
So she was the first winner of the night, Amy.
Right.
So who else winning were you happy about? I know mine straight away is Michael and Jessie. I mean, my God.
I like Jess's speech.
Ugh. First
I was pleased
Irish
she
woman
yeah,
ever
first
to
Irish,
win. First
yeah,
Irish woman.
I was pleased she got it. Regarding wins, this is not speeches, but I was disappointed that Miriam Margolyes' little
Friend of Dorothy.
friend of Dorothy didn't win, and it was the one there that there was the
He got
tie.
the tie.
So it was like when he opened it,
my
he started. I thought, oh, he's going to say. I thought he was saying an F. I thought he was about to say it, and then he goes, oh, it's a tie. So then he says, like, okay, here we go. So then the first one obviously wasn't that, and then so I'm waiting for the second one, waiting for the second, and then that wasn't that either.
Yeah,
so
I know.
poor
That
old-
was a shame.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Old Lee Knight. But at least he got to go to the Oscars, and that's his first film. So I'm sure there's going to be, many more times that he's going to be there. But Michael B. Jordan.
Yep. He took his
What?
mum.
Oh,
He took his mum.
mum,
It's
his
always
whole
cute when people
family
take
were
the mum.
there.
People take the
I
mum. I'd
love
take
it.
my mum.
I love it. And he was just so...
And he called her out right away,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was sat right next to him, wasn't she?
Yeah, and he was he just seemed so grateful, it was
Yeah.
like, seemed so genuine. And you know what I loved? Because Adrian Brody gave, announced the winner, and then he stood back from him. And when they took the camera like on a low angle, you could see Adrian there behind him, and he was just looking at him, and you could just see the way he was looking at him. It was
Like a proud papa.
Oh, it was just the loveliest. He was just like looking at him thinking, oh my, he just loving that moment for him. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And because he felt so sincere, Michael B. He always feels so sincere. I mean, we went to a couple of Q&As with him, and he just seems such a great bloke. Always so lovely. But yeah, and he was wearing Louis Vuitton.
Okay.
With the button up, so no like lapels, button up here, like not Mandarin, but like similar to
Like
that.
Dr. Evil.
Oh my God.
Like Dr. Evil.
And he had like a chain thing on. I mean, he looks so good. He looks so good. Talking about best dressed. You know who else looked good? Who do you think looked good?
Well, there's a lot about Demi Moore, wasn't there?
Oh, with the feathers.
Yeah, with the feathers. I like the feathers. I didn't like the kind of
came
like
too-
bird's head in the middle.
Yeah, and I thought they came up too high. That sort of
Yeah.
down
I thought she looked great.
from here down. The most beautiful dress ever, but it was kind of covering her too much up here. She always looks great. She looks fabulous. But yeah, Demi Moore. Nicole Kidman.
She
have
looked
to
good.
say
She looked good.
She looked really good. Now, you know what I'm going to say about this, babe?
No.
Yes, I'm going to say that when a woman either gets divorced, deserted, or death, right, from the husband, she blooms. And all I can say is Miss Kidman is looking phenomenal lately. And talking about her as well, did you watch Scarpetta yet? That
No.
just came out, which is, who's wrote that?
Patricia Cornwell.
Patricia Cornwell. And she has written a load of these books. There's many series of them. And Nicole Kidman has been a huge fan of it for 20 years, wanting to play it. And then my favourite, Jamie Lee Curtis, Broad of the Century, she became a producer on it, and she called up Nicole and said, do you want to play it? And she said, I've been waiting 20 years to play this role. And they play sisters in it.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, it's very good. And,
I like
and
Jamie
it
Lee
goes
Curtis.
between now to like, I suppose 2026, it goes 28 years back. So it keeps flipping, but they've used actors that look similar to them when they go back. They haven't tried to do any AI stuff on them or anything,
right.
you know, thank God.
Yeah.
And like Bobby Cannavale plays Jamie Lee Curtis's husband, and his actual son plays him younger. Jake. And then the girl who plays Nicole Kidman younger, she's an Irish actress. Oh my God, babe, she's so good.
Does she look like her?
She looks like her, and she's like, you can see she's like physically walking like her. And
Rosie McEwen.
Rosie McEwen, watch that girl, watch the space for Rosie McEwen. Really bloody good. But yeah, so Scarpetta.
Really creepy show. Gave me nightmares.
Yeah, you had nightmares after it.
Yeah.
She plays, what does she play in it? What do you call that? She's a
a forensic pathologist.
Yes, forensic pathologist. There you go.
Right.
And so it's a lot of cutting up bodies and seeing.
Oh.
Yeah, it is a bit that.
That's
But and then
lovely.
you had Nightmare, didn't you, babe?
Yeah.
So that didn't really help.
That was fun.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So what else? What else did you like about it?
Kate Hudson, I loved her dress. Oh my God, that sea foam. Do you know she was wearing $35 million of jewellery?
Jesus.
35 million, like necklace, earrings, bracelet, probably ring. I couldn't believe. Anyway, she didn't win, obviously. And then I wanted to mention Tiana Taylor, who's literally won all the Best Supporting Actors awards up to this point, but she didn't win it last night. Because Amy Madigan won it. But I want to mention that she was married to Iman, I'm not going to say his name,
Iman Shumpert.
She was married to him when he did Dancing with the Stars.
Ooh.
And he was one of my favourites that we've ever had on Dancing with the Stars.
Nice guy.
Yeah, not only a lovely guy, but also very good. And you know why I loved him the most? Because he came on, never danced before, and you know that's what I love on dancing. That I always champion them. Came on, never danced before, worked his ass off with Daniela. So
Right.
I mean, God,
Yeah.
anybody who gets with Daniela, and if they want to work, they're probably going to win. She's phenomenal, and if you're going to put the work in with her, you're going to be amazing. But so they're not. They just got divorced, both of them.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
which is a shame. But apparently, she's a dancer as well, and she was supporting him through the whole Dancing with the Stars bit.
Right.
She was there on Dancing with the Stars. So yeah, so girls come a long way. Nominated for an Oscar, and then Best Picture, babe.
I'm pleased that got it.
Yeah.
Having not seen any of them, I was just pleased.
That was the
They were
one you
saying
wanted to see.
Yeah, and I saw the reviews this morning about the show, and they were saying that it was one of the best ones for years, because they were saying that, you know, although there's been some kind of like arty stuff won in the past, and it's all very good that all these different things win, but they were saying that the ones that people are excited about, the ones that people have seen, that the hits, because they were saying the biggest Oscars ever was the year that Titanic won. And they said it's kind of been downhill since there, because he says that was the year that like everybody knew the contenders, everybody knew the actors, everybody knew everybody. And this is, and now it's got more and more kind of, I don't know what the word is, but there's a lot more things, there's a lot more independent films, there's a lot more stuff that aren't so big, not so mainstream. And this is so, but it's hard for like an audience to get behind movies they've not seen. And so this is, you know, at least this year with F1 and Frankenstein and One Battle After Another and Sinners, there was a lot of movies that people were excited about. So they were saying it was a more interesting show for people to see. And they feel that this was one of the best Oscars there's been for years, because it was more appealing to the people who were watching it. Whereas if you go and, you know, they're listing names of movies and actors that you'd never heard of, why you're not going to get excited, and you're not going to. So it felt like what I was reading in the reviews this morning was that it was a better show, and the fact that a big movie won was kind of probably a good thing for the Oscars, because the Oscars has been struggling, like everything has.
Like everything, babe. Yeah, I agree. I think it was a really, really good show. I really enjoyed it. I think as well, it wasn't like, oh, they're definitely going to win either. You know, it was very close. Like, I wanted Hamlet to win. Mickey wanted Sinners to win. Obviously, there was a lot of buzz around One Battle After Another that was going to win. But it was, you know, it could have gone any way. And director as well. Either Chloe Zhao or Ryan Coogler or, you know, Paul Thomas Anderson. Could have gone. I think nobody would have gone, that's not right, if they'd won it, you know? Because there's such great movies, all very different, but so all well done. You know, personally, I would have said, personally, I wanted Hamnet, but I'm not mad that Paul Thomas Anderson got it at all. I think there were some great films, great acting, great, you know, just all-rounder for a great Oscars.
What else do we need to talk about?
Well, In Memoriam, babe. Oh my God.
That was...
I didn't expect that. I did not expect any of that.
It seems like, again, looking at what people were saying about it, both at the time, you know, live while it was happening, but also this morning, it seems like that was very, very, very well received.
Oh, God.
Because normally the In Memoriam, everyone
So well.
complains about the In Memoriam because it's usually about, oh, it went too fast, or we couldn't see the,
Or
you know, they
left
focused
out
too
as
much on the
well.
person singing and you didn't see the pictures, and
Yes.
so-and-so was missing and all that sort of stuff. There was one missing that I'm going to talk about, but this one they seem to take their time because it always seems, In Memoriam is always very important, but it always seems to be like a 90-second thing and then go to commercial. Whereas this one, they took the time, and there's obviously some big names this year, but the fact that they separated out, you know, a piece on Rob Reiner,
and
they
his wife,
and
Michelle, yeah.
that they went into, they didn't just kind of mention it and move on. It's a piece in its own.
It was beautiful.
Then to go to
With Billy Crystal too,
Billy
doing
Crystal,
it,
and then
which
to
was
have all the.
amazing.
I don't know how he didn't.
I don't
cry
know how
during
he
that.
held it together.
Yeah.
Because
When the thing went up and there was all the different
Everybody
people
there, yeah.
you know, that was.
You
know, it's a
can
big.
you imagine how much in the truck the director was screaming when they went to do the close-up of Billy and Meg Ryan,
And everybody
there
stood
was
up.
somebody in
Someone
the
stood up.
way.
Yeah,
They must
someone
have been
stood up.
going, what? Because that was the shot.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the Harry Met
Yeah, there was a bit
shot.
of that. It did seem to miss a lot of the close-ups of the people that on that. It was great that they were all there, but they kind of missed a couple of them.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
that was so well done.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that, and I was like, oh my God, when they did that, I was like, yeah, this is how it should should be, you know. And then they did it. I think it was Rachel McAdams did Diane Keaton, which was beautiful.
And it was, who was it? It was
And
Diane
then-
Keaton and who was it? Diane Keaton and who was the other person?
Was it Catherine O'Hara?
And Catherine O'Hara. Catherine O'Hara. So that again, like respectful that they took the time to do that, and then Babs
it was
came
beautiful.
out.
And then Babs came out for Robert Redford.
How was her singing?
I thought she did well.
Well,
I mean, she had no warm up.
She warmed into it. I think she went big when she started. It opened big.
She tried to hit the highest note ever.
It was a little noisy where we were, so it was a little bit difficult to hear.
Her mic didn't work when she first got there, did she? Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
When she walked out, she started talking and there was no mic.
The mic's not on or something.
And then when she first came out to start talking, she started talking. And
there was something wrong with the
silent.
mic.
And then it slowly came up. But I saw comments this morning about her singing that, like, you know, she's 83.
No, she warmed into it and she sounded great.
But,
Yeah.
you know,
I think it was just the first couple of notes, maybe.
And she was probably like, you know, I'm always going to stick
Emotional.
up for Babs. Yeah.
Nervous.
Probably a little emotional.
And emotional.
She's talking about Robert
you
Redford.
ever worked with Babs?
Oh, no, I've never worked with Babs, but you know what? I put this in as well as a gem, babe. Her book. My name is Barbara. I got it on audio because she read it. I had to speed it up a little bit, I have to say. But she read it. 48 hours and 7 minutes it is.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it's so good because she literally talks you through her whole life. It's amazing. If you're doing a lot of car rides or journeys like that, get the audio, put it on.
Christ, where are you going
and
in 48 hours?
Everything you hear,
You get to Brighton in 48 hours.
everything you hear about, you know, her
Pasadena
life.
every day.
She's like so honest about everything that you're getting it from the horse's mouth, shall we say there, babe? You know? So it's like and I won't go into who she slates, but she leaves it all on the bloody table, I tell you now. It's a really good one. So put it down, Ginger Gems, book.
Yep.
There you go, you got a book. And you were going to say something about somebody who was not on the Memoriam?
I saw a comment that the fact that Brigitte Bardot was not in the In Memoriam, and the comment I saw was that, quite rightly so, she shouldn't have been because she used to be an actress. She'd not been an actress for a very long time, and in the time since, she's been very good with animals, but she's not been nice.
Yeah.
And so
very right wing, isn't she?
yeah,
Very
and
right-wing.
so the comments that I saw about her was that people weren't very sorry not to see her included because she was not a nice person.
So what is our verdict, babe, on the whole thing?
I thought it was a good one.
Yeah.
It's I wasn't I must admit, I did go to take the dogs for a walk in the middle of it.
Did you hold it or did you just let
I did
it run?
pause it, but because then I could go through. So then I could go through the
It's still paused
commercials.
halfway through.
But so I could fast forward through the commercials. So I wasn't that excited that I had to watch it live. But I thought it was good. It wasn't incredible, but it was. I've seen worse. Nobody got hit.
Nobody got hit. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
they didn't.
Actually, saying that though, there was almost a fight outside.
Oh really?
Yeah, Tiana Taylor got shoved, she said, by a security guard, and she let him.
no.
Yeah, she let him have it. Yeah, that was the closest we got to it, but she told him exactly where to go, in no uncertain terms.
I will tell you that I did look. Our friend, the lovely Debbie Clark, was working on the red carpet,
Yes.
and I saw an interview on the red carpet with some girl talking, and Debbie was stood behind her,
Oh, I
just
love it.
yakking away.
Have you got a picture of that?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay.
I immediately took a picture of it, sent it to Debbie,
Babe,
and was like, "Do some
let's
work." love."
link our Debbie. She's going to be
On-
in a link on the red carpet.
I'd called her in
love
the
it.
morning because I'm working on the red carpet, and it was like, "You weren't working; you just stood talking."
But that is working, babe.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Standing. We're standing, so we're not sitting. So that's a little bit of work.
If there'd have been a chair, she'd have been sitting.
We have a viewer's choice that was sent in this
Yes,
week by
we-
Sean Wise.
Yes, we do.
Interestingly enough, from Brighton.
From Brighton, my hometown.
Yeah.
So thanks for supporting. And he said he's going to New York, and do we have any theatre recommendations? Well, I am hoping
Yeah.
to go to New York.
Don't.
Oh, no.
Yeah, walk past.
Curmudgeon. Curmudgeon on theatre.
Walk past.
No, don't walk past. Walk inside to, I would say, I'll tell you, Sean, what I'm going to go and see, and I'm hopefully going in a few weeks' time. So I'm going to see Dog Day Afternoon, and I'm going to see Adrian Brody and Tessa Thompson. Is that called 13, or what is that called? Was it something 13?
Let me look it
It's
up.
about a bloke who was put in prison incorrectly, and played by Adrian Brody, and it's supposed to be absolutely amazing. Oh, go and see Oh Mary. Oh Mary, please go and see that. Everybody needs to see it. I'm going to see it again. And
It's called The Fear of 13.
It's called what, babe?
The Fear of 13.
The Fear of 13. So that's with Adrian Brody. And in Dog Day Afternoon, babe, the two actors, both from The Bear, one who plays cousin and the other one plays the dead brother, who keeps coming back in like flashbacks. I cannot wait for that. Actually, you know what? Stick that as well as a classic movie.
Yeah,
Dog
you're
Day
talking
Afternoon
about
with
John
Al Pacino.
Bernthal and Eben Moss Backrack.
Yeah, amazing actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that. That's my first port of call. I'm going to land, and at 7 that night, I'm going to be watching those two. I'll land at 2, and by 7, I'm going to be in the theatre. Anyway, babe, we've got to shout out to someone who's had a shout out nearly every week on the show. Mark Ballas.
Mark Ballas.
Mark Ballas. He's off to do Chicago
Is he really?
with Whitney Levitt.
Nice.
Yeah. So Whitney has been
Didn't
there.
he do Jersey Boys some years
he
ago?
did Jersey Boys, and he's done another one as well. He's been on Broadway, I think, a few times. So Whitney and Mark danced together on the last season of Dancing
Yep.
with the Stars. They didn't win. They went out just before the finale, but they did do their freestyle dance,
Yes.
which is the very famous dance everybody does at the very end, and usually the best freestyle usually wins the show, doesn't it?
Right.
No matter what's happened before. Anyway, they didn't get to do it. So what they did is they went and filmed it separately.
We did the finale over at the studio, and then we went over to the theatre, and we shot the dance, and it was incredible.
It blew my. I must have watched that 1,000 times. Not even kidding you. It is amazing. We're going to link
Yeah.
it, babe. We'll link it.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it is so beautiful and so well done, and
Yeah.
and the music. And because I break down the music on the show, I'd already heard the music, so I'd already listened the week before to like what the freestyles were that were up, and his was up already, and I listened to it, and I was so excited just to even count it because it's just so well done.
The funny thing is that the exposure that got was there was probably more people saw that
Oh.
freestyle than the people who stayed on the show. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously didn't get
Yeah, that was
given a chance to
amazing.
win.
Smart move.
But it was a real smart move, and it was good. I mean, Mark's so talented anyway, and she was
So
very nice,
talented.
and it was just.
So
like
he's
a
going to be
really
on
good-
Broadway
Well,
in
she-
Chicago at the Ambassador Theater.
Yeah, she's been on Broadway now for over like maybe she's been extended I think 2 times already, and so he's going in to play Billy Flynn, the lawyer, for 1 month, which will be like
April
you just
6th
said.
through May 3rd.
Yeah, April 6th to May 3rd at the Ambassador. So I might actually pop and see that as well. I'm going for like 3 days, maybe 4. So maybe if I'll try and get to see that as well. But yes, okay. Sean, thanks for asking. But that's the 4 I would go and see, babe.
Okay, let's talk about who made the gem cuts.
I think we can say the Oscars as a whole.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is one, and then
for me, definitely.
Going back to right at the beginning, we talked Conan. I think Conan made the gem cuts.
I think he made the gem cut, and he's a ginger gem.
He's a ginger gem.
So it's perfect.
Yeah, doesn't get any more perfect than ginger.
Do you know what? Let's put Amy Madigan in for her character of Aunt Gladys, who she won an Oscar for, who was also a ginger gem.
Another ginger?
Yeah, let's stick her in there, babe.
Okay. You like Demi's dress?
I like Demi's dress, yeah. I'll put her in there. But you know who I put in before her? Actually, no, I won't put Demi. I'll put Nicole in there because you know what? She's another ginger gem.
Is she ginger?
Yeah, originally
she used
ginger.
to be. Yeah.
There you go. Nicole can go in for looking.
She's an OG, original ginger.
OG, yeah.
Original ginger.
OG. She's the OG of curly girl ginger girls. She's the OG, so she can go in, babe. Barbra Streisand's
What about Barbara's book?
Yeah.
You like Barbara's book?
My name's Barbara. Loved
48
it.
hours.
Yeah, 48 hours and 7 minutes of pure
Christ.
delight. Pure
Christ.
delight. I'll be talking about one next week that you're going to love, but we'll wait for that. That'll be coming up. Scarpetta. I think I'll put that in there.
Yeah.
People have a look. Have a look this week, James. See what you think about that one.
Okay.
And
Probably
then,
won't.
And then you will, babe, because I think you'll like it. It's kind of fun. And we will. What about the classic movies? Dog Day Afternoon. Perfect.
Perfect.
I think that's. Do you think that's it, babe?
I think, and then if going back to our links, the
Yes.
Mark and Whitney freestyle that makes a gem cut.
That's a massive gem, and that will be linked, and you find yourself watching that many times. It's so beautifully done.
Pull a card.
Pull a card. Oh my God. Let's see what this week will bring. Go in with the flow. I think we're literally on some really nice path on this show, because every card that we get is literally telling us to just move forward, whether it's ripeness, whether it's deja vu, so if something's coming up, follow it. And now we've actually got going with the flow. So no matter what happens this week, everybody, just go with it. It won't last forever. It might be beautiful. It might not be beautiful. But you've got to remember, you just got to go with the flow and keep going. There you go. Go with the flow, babe.
Well done. Well said.
I think that's a good one to go this week. So, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. We do appreciate it.
We do appreciate it if you're watching.
Word of mouth, tell your friends.
Word of mouth, tell your friends. And
see you
next Tuesday.